What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of All channel. If you are searching for a polishing machine and you sort of struggling with the choice as there's so many different polishers, but finally you decide to go for dual action polisher and you decided to go for, let's say, 15mm throw dual action, but you're not sure whether you should spend the money for like say Rupes machine or maybe go somewhere middle draw. Watch this video, I will explain you the difference between these two machines, and at the end of the video you should be able to decide which is better choice, or you might go for different machine altogether. So first of all, let's start from data of the two polishers. Cost of them, I'm gonna start with the cost. Rupes, if you search around, you probably will find Rupes 15mm throw Mark III for around 460. In some shops you could be even paying a little bit over 500 euro. The second polisher we have here, it's Liquid Elements T4000 V2 Mark II. Price for this polisher is around 220 euro. So basically when it comes to two of these polishers, both of them are dual action polishers, both of them they have 15mm throw. What is the size of the throw? Throw is the size of orbital movement of the machine. When it comes to the backing plate, both machines they have the same size of the backing plate, which is 5 inches. It's equal to 125 millimeters. So as you can see, so far we have two very similar machines. One is much more expensive compared to the second one. When it comes to the speed of the machine, Rupes at the lowest gear 3000 RPM, at the highest gear 5200 RPM. Liquid Elements 2000 at the slowest gear, 5000 at the highest gear. What does that mean in practice? On the slowest gear, Rupes machine will work faster. At the highest gear, what we have is we have around 5% of difference. So in this case, Rupes wins by 5%. Another feature, wattage of the motor in each polisher. Rupes 500 watts, Liquid Elements 950 watts. So in this case, Liquid Elements has stronger motor. However, in use we will see whether that makes that much difference. When it comes to the weight of both machines, on some websites I've seen they say only 2.6 kg. However, the weight of Liquid Elements is 2.7. So in this case, the weight of the machine is only 100 grams more. When it comes to the length of the cord, Rupes 9 meters, Liquid Elements 8 meters. So in both cases we have nice length of cords. If you have socket nearby where you work, and you shouldn't need extension lead to work with any of them. Now I'll give you a couple of little features these polishers have that actually one of them has it, the other one doesn't have it. When it comes to Rupes, what Rupes has, it has progressive trigger. So when you're working with this machine, you can adjust the speed perfectly to what you need. So you can, with the trigger, you can actually slow it down and speed it up. It depends on what you need. In the case of Liquid Elements, you don't have this feature. So basically, once you press the trigger, you're gonna have the full speed that you set here. One of the most important features that Rupes has compared to most of dual action machines, I've tried quite few and I haven't used one that would be as vibration free as the Rupes. If you use a Rupes system, you use a Rupes machine and you use Rupes pads, you have basically sort of the smoothest polishing you can imagine. However, if you use pads from different brands, you still will have that nice smooth work with this machine. In the case of this machine, the polisher is not as smooth as this. However, does it affect the work as much? Personally, I use this machine as well, and I don't really feel that I have huge discomfort of working with. One of the features that this machine has that Rupes doesn't have is overload indicator. So what that means is when you're working with this machine, you have green light. If you apply too much pressure, the machine starts to struggle a little bit, it turns into red. And the last sort of feature that it's a force machine that I actually ever seen when it comes to corded machine is that you can detach the cord. So as you can see, the machines have some completely different features than the other one. However, when it comes to the main technical data, which is the power of the motor, the weight of the machine, the speed, they're not too far from each other. And that's what you should consider when you're choosing polisher, because it doesn't mean that this polisher costs twice the money compared to this one, that it's gonna do twice better job when you compare two of them. Basically, the speed, the size of the throw, the size of the backing plate, the power of the motor. Those features are the most important when it comes to the progress that you want to do when you polish in car. When it comes to Rupes machine, for the price, I have a bit of expectation because I have this machine as well, I have this one. I was a little bit disappointed with two things when it comes to Rupes, and I'm gonna tell you about them. So my first disappointment when I got this machine first was I used it for a couple of months and the backing plate sort of lost its grip. I couldn't use it because all the parts were falling off from the backing plate. And of course, when it comes to this type of machines, if you want to buy second backing plate, you will pay like 15-20 euro and you'll get one. For this backing plate, you have to pay around 50-60 euro. Another disappointment is that when it comes to Rupes machines, this is Mark 3, so the Rupes already made Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. All the machines have a little bit of issue. When you start to use it for a little bit, everything is a little bit warm. What happens is the backing plate is so close to the housing that it actually will slow down or stop. To fix this issue, what I did is, and if you look for on the internet, you will find washer mod for Rupes. So basically, I have washer underneath the backing plate, and that is the distance between the backing plate and the cover. And this way you can actually use this machine proper. So what's very surprising is that force machines from Rupes, the Mark 1 Rupes, had the same issue, and even the fact that it's years since they made the machine and there was lots of feedback on the internet that this is kind of issue for users, they never fixed it. And when it comes to this machine, you don't have this issue at all. I have another Rupes 21mm throw. I didn't put the washer mod in here, and see what happens here. The backing plate doesn't rotate, so in use this sort of reduces the abilities of machine. So now you know the technical data of the two polishers. You've seen some of the cons of this one. When it comes to this one, when I think about the price of it, I can't really fault this machine. In the case of this one, I would expect a little bit more for the fact that it's actually one of the most expensive machines that you can buy. So now let's talk about the machine itself, because any polisher you buy, that polisher is designed to be used for polishing cars. But let's go more in details about the dual action machine. So you have dual action polisher, so that means that the polisher has two movements. Force motion is orbital, so the polisher operates up and down. It kind of works in that sort of diagram. This movement is forced by the machine. So if you work with this polisher, once you start it, once you turn it on, you're always gonna have this movement. However, dual action polishers has two motions, and the second motion is rotary. So if you want to make your work effective and efficient, what you need to do is you need to operate this polisher the way that you maintain the rotary movement. Because the rotary movement is not forced by the machine itself, but because of the orbital movement, there is centrifugal force, and that's what creates the rotary movement in the case of dual action polishers. So let's see which one is better when we use them. So in the case of Rupes on force gear, Rupes is gonna act better than the liquid elements. However, when you go to higher speed, like the last gear, basically there's not much difference. In reality, the difference of 5% makes really no difference for the results. Both machines work very well on flat surfaces. However, when it comes to curves, both machines might struggle. So when you operate in one of these machines, you have to pay a lot of attention to make sure that the pad is kind of as flat as possible to the surface. This way you will be making progress. Once you start to tilt one of these machines, they both will stop or slow down. So now I hope that you can clearly see that twice the price is not gonna make your work twice more effective, efficient. Basically, in case of both of those machines, is how you're gonna use them and what sort of task you try to deal with when you use these machines. I have both of these machines. What we use them for, basically we might use them for sort of single stage or on soft or medium paint. We might use it for finishing stage for any sort of paint, medium, soft or hard. Also, what we might use this machine is for cutting stage when it comes to sort of softer or maybe medium paint. However, I wouldn't use one of these machines when it comes to efficiency and effectivity of work, especially when I try to do cutting stage on harder paints, especially if they're badly damaged. The reason of that is that these machines, the way they're designed, you have to sort of put a lot of attention to maintain the rotary movement. The rotary movement in the case of using any polishers is the most important one. You have the dual action movement forced by the machine, but when it comes to those, without the rotary movement, you won't be able to make much progress at all. So for me, the biggest sort of downside of these machines is that you can't really apply too much pressure on them. Of course, I don't mean you want to apply a lot of pressure all the time. However, if you apply a little bit too much pressure, they're gonna stop or slow down. So from my perspective, these machines are perfect for sort of lighter work, work on softer paints. But when it comes to cutting stage on harder paints, I wouldn't be using one of them. However, is one of these machines good choice if you're looking for force machine, if you want to learn machine polishing? Absolutely, one of these machines will be perfect. The reason of that is these machines, when you use them, they don't really create much heat on the paint. For example, like the rotary polishers. So these machines are relatively very safe when you use them on the paint. When it comes to professional use, we have these machines because for me the effectivity of my work is the most important. So if I was limited to one machine, obviously my work wouldn't be effective or efficient. We have two of these and we use them for the stages or for the sort of task I mentioned before. So to recap the video, is the Rupes Mark III worth twice the price of the liquid elements? It is if you're looking at the comfort of work. Rupes is perfectly designed machine, and I've used different polishers. I can't say that there's machine that comes near when it comes to the comfort of use. So I personally think it's worth to pay the price for that, especially if you use machine kinda every day or use it quite often. But if you're expecting twice better results from the Rupes compared to this one, you will be disappointed. As the result from your polishing depends basically not just on polisher, but also depends on the compound, but mainly depends how you use. So if you use these two machines with the same sort of polishing combination on the same paint work and you use both of them the same way, you will get very same result. So that's everything in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the video will be helpful for you, at least somehow. If you have any questions, comment below. If you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe my channel so you won't miss another videos that I'm gonna publish in the next while. And see you on the next one.